Unless you've been sleeping under a rock for about the odd 50 some odd years, I'm sure you've heard the name Toyota Corolla. You see, in 12 generations of the model, it has become the best-selling vehicle in the world of all time. They've sold over 44 million Corollas. And for 2020, this thing is all new, and hands down, this is the best Corolla ever. There are two different looks of the Corolla. There is the L, and then there's the S. The L kind of stands for luxury, S for sport. We have the XLE trim right here, but just look at the front. This is not a simple design anymore. There's a lot of different shapes involved. There's sculpting in the front end, aggressive looking grille. Remember, this is a Corolla, and check out the LED headlamps and the LED light treatments. This is something you'd really expect out of something a lot more premium than a Corolla. Onto the side, standard are 15-inch wheels. This one's equipped with 16-inch rims, and if you go into the Sport and the higher-end Sport, the XSE, you get 18-inch alloy wheels. The entire chassis is brand new, based on the TNGA, the Toyota New Global Architecture platform. It is over 60% stiffer in torsional rigidity. The vehicle is lower and wider, and the look really coincides with the times right now. In the back, instead of roundish tail lights, you have geometrical shaped lights. They have a nice new look that complements the back and the overall package. What I find quite incredible of compact cars of today is how much room they have inside and in the cargo area. So this is a compact car. Here is a full-size carry-on, and I've brought along my big trunk, my traveling trunk. So zero problem. It goes so deep. It's got a large opening. It has a lip here so things don't roll out too easily. And putting it back in, just give you an idea once again. This is how far it goes in. I don't have to angle it anyway. Even if I wanted to, give you an idea here, is I will put this suitcase lengthwise instead of sideways. Of course, if we wanted to put it sideways, we could go sideways like that, fit a lot more in here, or we could go up like this, however we want. Tons of room. A decade ago, if you threw me in the inside of this Corolla, I would never believe that I was in a Corolla, because a decade ago, a lot of these features in this Corolla would only be available as options, expensive options on some higher priced luxury brands. For instance, my $65,000 BMW had some of these options, but not even all of them that this Corolla has. So let's get started. In behind the steering wheel is standard is a 4.5-inch digital display. Optional on this XSE, you get a 7-inch digital instrument cluster in the middle. You have a leather-wrapped steering wheel on this XSE, and it's a heated one. Also on this, you get heated seats in the front and the rear. In the middle, standard 7-inch screen, or optional on this one, you get the 8-inch infotainment screen. It does have Apple CarPlay and Toyota's Entune system, so you can even search Yelp reviews and things like that, but it does not have Android Auto, unfortunately, for Android fans. Below your heating and cooling system, very, very basic but simple. You have a standard temperature knob, you have automatic climate control. It's just easy, simplistic, and it looks really good. Below that, wireless charging for your device. There's more and more phones that have wireless charging available. And you have a USB on the right side here, and also auxiliary input. Onto the middle console, it's fairly slim, but it does have 2 drink holders. You do have drink holders in the side pockets as well. You have an electronic parking brake with brake hold, really handy in those traffic situations. And in the middle console here, you have a 12-volt outlet and another USB back here. These seats are called Softex, so it's kind of like a faux leather. You also have a sunroof. And the overall fit and finish and the materials look and feel really good. They've done a really good job on this interior. In the back, I'm a fan of, and if you have kids and you use car seats, you'll be a fan of them too, because your car seats click into those ISOFIX latches, and instead of having to dig in between the two cushions, there are dedicated latches, super easy to use. This is a compact vehicle. There is ample room back there, and the middle almost has a flat floor. So if you have to seat someone in the middle, they just have one less thing to complain about. All right, let's get driving this Corolla. Push the button, push button start, same as that proximity key. Once again, 10 years ago, that was an expensive option on my BMW that was $65,000. So let's put it into gear. So speaking of gears, this is a CVT, continuously variable transmission, and it is matched to, this is the L model, so not the S. So there's two different engine options. So the L gets a 1.8 liter 4-cylinder engine, and it puts out 139 horsepower matched to this CVT. Now, one thing about the CVT, it's not the most responsive, especially off the line. So let's just go around this corner here. All right, let's just pull here, and we'll come to a stop. Now, from a dead stop, here we go. That is to the floor. We just hit 40 kilometers per hour. Yeah, you are not going to win a lot of drag races with this Corolla. Seriously, there is a sport mode on here, but even with the sport mode, I find that it still lags quite a bit, only from a dead stop. Once you're moving, it's got actually really good pep. If you put it in sport mode, it increases the RPM and it gets you up and going a little bit quicker. But here we are from a stop sign, and there we go. Now, one way to prevent this or get around it is get the manual transmission. They do have a 6-speed manual transmission, and it has an intelligent feature, meaning that it has auto rev matching. See, we are stopped at a light here. I mentioned this has brake hold, so with the electric parking brake, you hit the hold button, it comes up on the screen, and I can take my foot off the brake, and it'll disengage when I put the accelerator back on. Once again, very handy for stop and go traffic situations. One thing, however, I was told when I had this on my BMW is that it can reduce the life of your rear brakes a little bit, because it is dragging a little bit when you're taking off. But yeah, it's just a small little bit. Here we go. One way to prevent that startup lag is to go for the S model, like the SE or the XSE top trim, because that comes with a 2-liter direct injected 4-cylinder engine, and that has 169 horsepower, so 30 horsepower more. But even better, it has a different CVT. It's called a direct shift CVT. So take your CVT, which is the single gear, and it has that type of rubber band effect like this has, but what they've done is they've matched it with an actual first gear. So it actually has the first gear. You eliminate that kind of that droning startup, and then it just catches on to the CVT, the rest of it later on. And yeah, it's the best of all worlds. I really wish this came with it. As for ride and handling, this new chassis really shines. It's a lot stiffer, meaning that suspension can work much better and they can tune it better. And speaking of suspension, this now has independent rear suspension as well. The ride is very sophisticated, and by far this definitely, hands down, is the best handling Corolla of all time for sure. This little Corolla comes with a ton of safety features. Standard is Toyota Safety Sense 2.0. What does that give you? Well, you get pre-collision detection, you have pedestrian detection, even bicycle detection in the daytime. This is also equipped with a blind spot monitoring system, lane trace assist, so it's a lane keeping system. I have it on right now, so if you do drift off, it's active. It'll actually bring you back into the lane, and it has high-speed radar cruise control. This 1.8 liter is also very thrifty on fuel, so it makes it for a perfect commuter vehicle. I've averaged around anywhere from 5 to 7 liters per 100K in city and highway, and that's very, very respectable. Now, if you want better fuel economy, you can go into the Corolla Hybrid. Yes, now I am a fan of hybrids. I even own a Toyota Hybrid myself, but on a vehicle this size, you know, I would probably stick with just the regular instead of the hybrid. You know, I'd stick that hybrid in something bigger. That's where it makes more sense to me. You know, millions of people have bought into the Corolla because they are looking for something dependable, reliable, of course, and thrifty on fuel because of its size. Well, this latest Corolla gives you all of that still, but in a much more premium package. The Corolla is no longer an entry-level vehicle. It is a full-featured vehicle now, just in a compact size. If you like the video, hit the thumbs up, and if you want to see more everyday reviews, hit the subscribe button. Thanks for watching.